TomoNews presents Coffee.
Serbian report blames coffee spill for sudden plunge of president's plane. The co-pilot of a Serbian government jet almost made a bigger mess as he was cleaning up a coffee spill mid-flight last week. Serbian President Tomislav Nikolic and 9 others, including 4 of his advisors, were flying a government jet to a meeting with Pope Francis last Friday morning, when, according to a report, midway through the flight, the co-pilot spilled coffee in the cockpit. As the co-pilot cleaned up the mess, he inadvertently activated the emergency slot extension, which turned off the plane's autopilot. One of the plane's 3 engines stopped working and the plane began to lose altitude. From 10,058 meters above the Adriatic Sea, the aircraft dropped 1,609 meters before the captain was able to regain control. The plane then returned to Belgrade and President Nikolic had to postpone his meeting with the Pope. According to the New York Times, the co-pilot has been temporarily suspended from duty. The 31-year-old Dassault Falcon 50 has experienced several serious malfunctions in recent years. The presidential press office said that President Nikolic may stop using the aging jet.
Coffee-loving parrot causes woman to crash her car. You remember this woman, right? The 79-year-old who sued McDonald's because she spilled hot coffee all over her lap? Seems to be a bit of a theme, hot coffee and vehicles and unfortunate results. But this story has a pet parrot thrown into the mix. On Tuesday, Angel Holyfield from Uniontown, Pennsylvania was driving and sipping and having a grand time with her pet parrot until the little bird began pecking at the lid of the cup. His impatience distracted Angel long enough that she crashed her Honda Accord into a guardrail. She reportedly suffered a broken arm and lacerations from the deployed airbag. Her parrot was fine. Angel told officials her little lovebird enjoys coffee and drinks it often, which is great as long as she's learned her lesson and realizes it's pretty much common sense for the rest of us.
It's just a coffee cup, jeez. The holiday season is here again, and there's the new Starbucks holiday tradition of triggering conservative Christians with their special holiday cups. This year is no exception. Released on November 1st of this year, the cup design features holiday imagery like snow, wrapped gifts, and people wearing sweaters holding hands. Seems pretty normal, right? Wrong. Here's why. The latest controversy has focused on a pair of gender-neutral hands innocently holding each other on the side of the cup itself. Various media have all published their take on the design. Fox News and The Blaze both have suggested that Starbucks is using the design to promote homosexuality. In response to the allegations, Starbucks spokeswoman said the company intentionally designed the cup so their customers can decide for themselves. Like we said earlier, this isn't the first time Starbucks has stirred up a discussion like this. In 2015, conservative media and then presidential candidate Donald Trump accused Starbucks of starting a war on Christmas because of the cup's minimalist design. Do you think Starbucks has a gay agenda? Let us know in the comments below.
Zero-gravity coffee cup designed for astronauts. U.S. researchers have developed a 3D printed zero-gravity espresso cup that will be sent to the International Space Station in February. Portland State University zero-gravity espresso cup is part of NASA's capillary beverage experiment. Capillarity describes the flow of liquid into narrow spaces, without or in opposition to external forces like gravity. The binding force between the water and the inner wall of the narrow tube pulls the edges of the water up, creating a curved meniscus. The surface tension of water inside the tube stretches to reduce the meniscus, which pulls the water farther up into the tube. The process stops when the liquid reaches mechanical equilibrium. The narrow corner of the zero-gravity espresso cup and the mouth of the astronaut form a capillary connection. The surface tension automatically pulls the coffee towards the astronaut in low-gravity environments. The design of the zero-gravity espresso cup debuted in November of last year, and the cups are expected to be tested before flying off into space later this month.
Even buses need their Java. Waste coffee grounds will be powering London's buses as the city finds newer and cleaner ways to run its public transport system. Clean technology company BioBean has created a new biofuel by blending oil extracted from used coffee grounds with B20 biodiesel. The firm estimates that it would take just 2.55 million cups of coffee to create enough of the biofuel to power a London bus for an entire year. So far, BioBean has produced 6,000 liters of coffee oil for its pilot project with Shell and Transport for London. Many of the city's buses are already running on biofuel made from waste such as cooking oil or beef to reduce emissions, but this is the first time a coffee-derived fuel is being introduced. Londoners reportedly produce about 200,000 tons of coffee waste a year, and most end up in landfills where they emit harmful methane gas. The new initiative is not only beneficial to the environment, but also convenient for buses, which don't need to be modified to use the fuel.
Good news for coffee drinkers. A new study shows that coffee drinkers are likely to live longer than non-coffee drinkers. Data was sampled from more than 500,000 people across 10 European countries. According to the study, coffee drinkers are likely to be smokers, drinkers, and meat eaters. However, it also shows coffee drinkers have significantly lower mortality rates than non-coffee drinkers and lower risk of death from all causes. The study revealed that coffee drinkers appear to have healthier lives and better glucose control, which may improve their overall health. Researchers say they will try to determine the particular compound in coffee that offers such health benefits. In the meantime, they suggest drinking around 3 cups of coffee a day for good health.
In sports, the Saints and the Clippers meet tonight in the deciding game of the Eastern.
ほんまにうちのこと好きやったら頭に
Dottoressa Vaselli deve...
Are you tired of drinking bad coffee? You deserve the very best coffee in your cup. And the very best coffee comes from the very best process. Nature pre-digests the bad flavors away using the cat-like creatures called civets. The beans are harvested from the poo and made into delicious coffee luwak coffee. It costs a little more than the average coffee, but boy, is it worth it.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Coffee leaf rust could wipe out specialty coffee beans and coffee farms. USAID is launching a $5 million partnership with Texas A&M University's World Coffee Research in an attempt to eradicate a fungus that is threatening coffee plants in Latin America and the Caribbean. USAID says the fungus could threaten the livelihoods of about 500,000 people whose jobs depend on the coffee industry. Coffee leaf rust, scientifically known as Hamelia vastatrix, is a fungus with half-smooth spores. Infections usually start on the lowermost leaves of a coffee plant, where the fungus protrudes through the stomata on the underside of the leaves. Lesions that develop on the leaves tend to be concentrated around the margins, and infection slowly progresses upwards in the tree. Meanwhile, lesions produce more spores that can be spread by wind and splashing rain. If the fungus destroys more than half of a tree's leaves, there is likely no hope for the tree, and farmers will have to cut the tree off at the stump. The trees then can't produce coffee beans for about 3 years. US officials say the latest USAID effort brings the sum invested by the agency in the fight against coffee rust to $14 million. Reuters reports that mass job losses resulting from the spread of the fungus could leave displaced coffee workers more susceptible to the illegal drug trade and associated violence.